Welcome, welcome, welcome back to another Embrace Your Life chat where the intention is to focus on heightening your celebrations and lessening your sorrows through a positive focus. Normally, I go through my spiel on knowing stuff about me, but because this conversation is so centric on animals, I don't think I need to go through that. But so we're just going to go ahead and get into it today. And today, my guest is Shauna Fisher. She is an animal communicator. She's been joining me for a while now on the second Thursdays of the month. So join us. I'm in Chicago. She is, where are you at in
Oh, Vancouver, Washington.
Washington? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Everybody's like, what? There's a Vancouver, Washington and a Vancouver, Canada? Yes.
Exactly. And I think when I was out the Pacific Northwest many years ago, a couple of friends and I, we flew into Seattle, then we rented a car and just drove all over the place. And we were looking for Vancouver, Canada, and it was night. We just never, I think we ended up in, you're not even close to Vancouver,
No, I'm
Canada.
like probably like at least like 8 or 10 hours away from there, I think.
Okay. Yeah. So we look for it, and I think we probably found the um, land side, but not the island. So it was pretty funny because it was late at night. We're like, we have to go to Vancouver, and we ended up giving up. So another time I will get to Vancouver, Canada, and I'll come out to visit you sometime.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that would be
Yeah.
amazing.
So hi,
And
Lisa. Lisa is with us from. She's up early because she's in Hawaii. So oh, you know what? This is a different Lisa. This is Lisa from Vancouver, Canada. Lisa, I have a Lisa Thompson friend who Shauna knows who
yeah.
is in Hawaii. So, welcome. So, today we're going to be talking about animals and animal communication. So, if you have a question about your pets, whether they're living or passed over, Shauna is able to get into that energy and figure it out. But before we get started with questions, good morning, Rachel and Melissa. Good to see you guys here. But please put your questions and comments, and I will come in and look at it. But I wanted to start off and ask you, Shauna, is there a difference in? I think you've said before that you can connect to wild animals. So, first of all, can you connect to wild animals? And secondly, is there a different energy between our pet animals and a wild animal? Do you get the same connection, emotion, message from them, or is there a difference? And is there a different way to connect with them?
Yeah, I love that. That is such a great question, right? And the answer is yes, you can communicate with wild animals and even nature, like plants and things like that. And what's really interesting is the wild animals. So like I've had encounters with, squirrels and crows and different things like that, birds. And what's interesting is they're like, I don't want to say like hesitant, but it's like there's a little bit more, it's sometimes not as easy maybe to communicate with them because they're like they maybe don't want to share like a big long conversation with you. Sometimes you just tune into them and you can pick up the message and the vibration and the energy that they're sending you. So it's kind of like in a different way that they do it. It's not as much on the forefront. Sometimes they may, not always, but sometimes they may be a little bit more guarded and whatnot. So
Okay, that's interesting. And it's been a year now. We sold my where I grew up, my mom's house, which I always called the homestead, and it was on several acres of um, woods and stuff like that. So I had a connection. I felt a connection with. We had deer out there, and there was a particular deer that because I'd be outside. I mean, I was never maybe 10, 20 feet from it, but I swear, like we would just look at each other, and I'm like, I want to know what you're thinking right now. And so
oh
it's been a year now, and animals are in the present moment because I miss him. I'm like, I wonder if he even knows I'm gone. But
yeah.
it's just it was and the birds chirping and stuff. It was just so fun to
Oh,
be in the nature and listening to them and feeling a connection without knowing if there was a true connection.
exactly. And I think that's kind of the difference is because you feel that connection. And then on that property where you were at, it makes me think of my parents. They had 10 acres and they had deer and all the animals there. When the animals know that it's that safe zone where they're protected in that
Yeah.
environment and they're cared for and they're loved, they're a little bit more open and receptive if you come from that energy. So since you had that energy, there was definitely that connection with that deer, and I'm sure that deer definitely appreciates that
Yeah.
connection
It
and
was
that
so
safety.
and we'd have baby deers, every a year, and it was
Oh,
most often I was looking through a window that I would have open so I could hear and stuff, but sometimes I'd be outside with them. But usually it would be like either I wasn't talking at all or I was talking very gentle with them. But every now and then some of the young bucks would be mean to the other ones. I'm like, knock it off. I'm going to tell your mom if you keep this behavior up. Like, you just be nice.
oh, I love that, right? It's that sanctity that you created there for
Yeah.
them, you and your family. Like that's
And
beautiful.
thankfully the new owners love them as much too. So
Oh,
they're
that's
taking care of
amazing.
them. Yeah.
That's so nice when that happens. It broke my heart because my parents, where they lived, the new people that moved in, they put fencing all around. So now it's like the deer can't get across there. And I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
the deer that, have been coming and coming there. And it's like maybe they can come like the back way on the property. But yeah, it broke my heart.
Yeah, and then one more question before we get into the questions that you all have for Shauna. Before we went live, we were talking about, like I just mentioned, the wild animals. And on my trip home, like I'll see hawks and stuff to go to my hometown. I live in Chicago. My hometown's 3 hours south of here. And I always feel like it's a sign for my mom and stuff. And you were talking about, so stay involved to the end or watch the replay because Shauna is going to have opportunity for a giveaway. And so, what is that on those? Like, you can go online and search hawk. What is your hawk spirit animal, and what does that mean? When you see those often. So, what is that to you? What is the animal totem or whatever it's called? What is that
Yeah,
to you?
right. Yeah, there's so many different ways. You can call it animal totem, power animal, animal messenger, right? There's all of that. And what I love to have people do is like look at the message that, you can look online and do a Google search for like, what does this animal spirit mean? But then also tune in and to see what it means to you at the moment, because it could mean a little bit similar thing, but it could be different. And for me, like hawks, for me personally, are like messengers, like you're on the right path, you're protected, I'm there looking over you, I'm like a guide for you. And it's interesting because you were telling me about the trip back and forth, and I definitely feel like that is like what you're saying, a sign from your mom. And the message I get is like, I'm traveling there with you still. I
Yeah.
make sure you get home there and then you get back home okay, and I'm there with you. And it's like, it's almost like I feel like this hawk looks back at you and you have that connection. And it's really powerful because nature can speak to us in ways like that.
Especially if we're willing to see and listen to it. And my mom was always worried about my driving back and forth by myself. So it makes sense that she would be following and watching. So thank you for that. So, and that is going to be something that you're offering. And we're going to do hashtag live chat, no, animal chat. Hashtag the symbol hashtag, the word animal chat to be entered into the opportunity. And what are you going to be offering?
Yeah, so what I'm going to be offering, this is something fun, and I've done it before, and I'm going to add it on my website. It's going to be a power animal, a spirit animal, an animal messenger reading. So whatever that animal that is out in nature that is giving a message to you. And what I'll do is I'll put, like, say if it's a bear, I'll be like, okay, I'm tuning into bear for you, and this is what I'm tuning into for you. And it'll be personalized for that person. And then if they want to dig deeper, they could journal into it or Google it too, and then just really sit there with it and see what it is that comes. Because I give a lot of detail when I do those, and it's so fun.
You give a lot of detail on all of your readings. So,
Oh, thank you.
yeah, excellent. Okay, well, thank you. So it's hashtag animal chat and the opportunity to add your name in more than one. So I am on our group, which is Embrace Your Life Community, which is a Facebook private group. And then I'm on my personal page and then on Positive Focus. So if you go find this conversation in all three places, you can put animal chat 10 times here, but it's only going to be one time. But if you go to all three places and put animal chat in there, then I will add your name in 3 times or 2 times, whatever you find. The Embrace Your Life community, you have to ask to join because I keep out spammers. So there's like 2 questions that you have to answer. I think one is why do you want to join? And so it's just to keep out spammers. So we're going to keep this open for a week and then I will announce it next week on our Tuesday. I'll announce it Tuesday when we do the group chat.
Oh,
So
yay.
I'll pick the winner for the Tuesday and then announce it, and then we'll reach out. The last winner from last month was Sylvia. I cannot think of how to say her last name.
Oh, well, she's in London, though.
Yeah,
I
she's
know
in
that much.
London. Yeah, and so she won an energy healing for her pet. So Kathy's already
Nice.
got her name in here,
Love
animal
it.
chat. So we're getting started. Let me go back because I've seen lots of questions here. And please, if I miss a question, feel free to ask it again. So Lisa Thompson, Vancouver, Lisa Thompson is joining us today. Alyssa says hello. Rachel says good morning. Alyssa is the first question I see. Are my
Are my
cats
cats
seeing
team,
my
my
spirit
spirit team. And she says Milvin and Ducky are her cats' names. And oh my goodness, that profile picture, so cute. Oh my goodness. And I get a big, like, I just want to go like this and expand out, like, yes, yes, yes. They're seeing your spirit team and they're actually seeing an expansion on your spirit team. So I pick up expansion for you, and your cats and your spirit team are working with you with the expansion. So when you see them look out further, it's like things are expanding. And yeah, they absolutely see that. So it's
that's
beautiful.
that's cool. Now we have Rachel has a question. Can you tap into my Bernie? She is 20 and seems happy. However, I want to know if she is suffering. That
Oh,
is so hard because our pets can hide it that so well.
they hide it so well, right? And especially kitty cats. Cats hide it more than dogs because cats tend to be a little bit more stoic, right? And they don't always let in on how they're feeling. So what I pick up on from your sweet girl is she's showing me like her hind end, and I feel kind of like, I don't want to say like crickety, but kind of like chilly back there. Like my bones are colder back there, and especially with the temperatures dropping, I'm getting chillier. So to have maybe something that if I want to like nuzzle under a blanket for my back end, that I can have that little kind of blanket that's open for me to just gonna burrow in and go lay in. And that my stomach, I need to have some more food, like a little bit more wet food, maybe like 3 times a day. To kind of like a middle meal will really help me. Like even if it's just like a tablespoon of food, and just if there's a way you can get like a joint supplement, that would really help too. And there's a lot of natural joint supplements out there too that work really well. So, but she says, yes, I am happy because I love you. And she says she loves sitting by you while you're doing your creations. Like I love sitting by you and doing your creations. I love being in the energy while you're doing your creations. So yeah.
Very nice. And do you on your website have a reference page on different things you recommend?
I don't. And you know what? It's funny that you mentioned that because that's been something I need to add. I'm like, wait, I need to add something like that. A reference, like different books that I recommend
Yeah.
and different products. That's been on my mind. I need to do that for sure.
Okay, add that in because I
Yeah.
know you're not busy at all, but go ahead and add that in too. So Lisa Thompson, I always see three eagles. I think my dad, aunt, and uncle in spirit all passed of cancer within 15 months 4 years ago. I believe it's them.
Oh, so much love. That's hard. So close
Yeah.
together. And I definitely feel like it's definitely them. And they show kind of how they circle around and how they move, and they show you like this one's me, this one's me, and this one's me. It's like your dad is your dad is showing me like I'm in the forefront, and then the aunt is in the middle, and then the uncle. They're showing me kind of how they are directed when they're flying around, and they just circle around you to circle their love and their guidance and their wisdom to you. So
I love
beautiful.
that. Yeah. Like it was probably a couple days before my mom passed, and the room that she was in was right by the woods, so her picture window showed all the woods. I'm sure there are hawks in that area, but there's so many trees and things, it's really hard to see them. A few days before she passed, a hawk landed right outside the window. and I really felt it was like my dad saying, "Time to come with me," kind of thing. So it was
I
sad and beautiful at the same
I
time.
just got chills and I just got yes. And it's interesting. So a thing that came through is that the hawk that follows you when you go on your travel, it's not just your mom, it's your dad too. So look above because there's a hawk that sometimes is around and and above the other hawk. And sometimes they kind of intercross with each other. So
And Sylvia is here, the winner. Um,
Sylvia, yay!
it's the end of a sunny day in London. I have a Jack Russell called Lucy, who's nearly 12. She looks after us all and guards our property very well. She was attacked by a fox in our garden. It is traumatized. Is it traumatized by this? She's not afraid of going. She's not afraid of going in the garden. So I'm not quite sure your question, Sylvia. Are you asking if she was traumatized or that she wasn't traumatized and you're just making a statement?
Yeah, I
So
yeah, what I pick up on, it's interesting. So what comes to me from that is that your Jack Russell Lucy's like, no, and she just had me like slap my hands on my legs there. She's like, I'm not traumatized. I am she's like having me put my chest out and my hands on my shoulders. I am going out there and telling that fox, you will not do that again. This is my yard and I am not afraid to go in the garden because I'm going to poof out and show you that this is my garden. And nope, that we have established a boundary and no, I am not afraid of that. And I'm still out there gardening because that's what I do. Love it.
Rachel said something else about her kitty, so I don't know if you have any recommendations as far as it sounds like she does eat extra, but then does not keep it in. So you mentioned her stomach being sensitive. So is
Yeah,
there,
so what she's showing me is give her maybe a little less. So instead of like all of a can, she's showing me like kind of scoop out, be like, okay, here's a little tablespoon. And then if she does that with a tablespoon, try like a teaspoon and just like some smaller amounts for her and just remind her and just keep seeing her chewing it slowly instead of like whoop, gobbling it all up to be like, okay, like there's going to be more. If I see you eat that, I'll give you a little bit more. Like slow it down that the other kitty's not going to get it. Like it's okay. Maybe put it up maybe in a different place where the other kitty can't see it.
awesome.
Yeah.
I just saw a comment and I've lost it. Oh, Lisa here. I have three cats, one of which is her mom's who passed away last October. Oh, we're on the year anniversary, Lisa. Sending you
Oh,
so much love. Sometimes I see him looking up at the ceiling, just wondering.
oh, so much love because that's so hard. And I definitely pick up on yes, like I want to point to the ceiling, and it's not just the ceiling, it's like in the walls. Like I see little like spirit lights from your mom, like that she's coming to check on the kitty that now you've taken in, which she's so grateful. Um, and she's showing me that sometimes like if you see if you see the cat move like somebody is petting the cat but nobody's petting it, that's your mom like sending energy from the cat, like that spirit connection, that's her energy ingrained there. So yeah, they animals see spirits all the time. I know it's just it's like, whoa, wait, what are you looking at? Like what's going on? They're definitely so in tune to that.
Well, it was so interesting because, like, with for my mom, my dog, which I'd had for 15 and a half years, died 9 months after my mom, and they were both very close. And I remember thinking after my mom passed, I'm like, oh, there's no way Mika is going to last very long because they were so connected. But I think she still felt my mom so much there that she didn't necessarily feel the disconnect that I did as a human being, kind of thing. And she hung around for me, of course. But it was just interesting because I thought that there would be a more of a sign of her mourning, but I really do feel like she just felt my mom's presence regardless. So it wasn't a missing situation kind of thing. And she was dealing with her own health issues. So,
Yeah, she felt your mom's presence, and it was that they wanted to work you through that 9 months of healing. And it makes me think, and this sounds so weird, but when a woman has a baby, they're pregnant for 9 months. So it's like that
oh,
nine
yeah.
months to kind of go through that life process, is what I'm picking up
Yeah, I
on
hadn't
both of
even
them.
thought of that. That makes a lot of sense.
Hmm.
Kathy, any message from Molly, our shepherd who crossed in August? I miss her so. Oh, Kathy, sending you so much love.
Oh, just a big hug, Kathy. And it's interesting because I want to just go like this, and I just want to like rock and just give you a big hug because your shepherd is showing me like I had a way to give you hugs. I had a way to give you hugs. And the way that I gave you hugs was not just in hugs, but was in the look of my eyes. And I still wrap my paws around your legs and around your heart. And I'm always really there with you. And if you see, like, hear a song that has something about like heart and hugs and you some connection with that, just know that that's a sign from your sweet Molly. And she just is all about the love and sends you so much love. And just remember too, I always like to remind people that there is absolutely no time limit on grief. Grief is always a part of us, and sometimes it can hit us at moments. It doesn't matter if it's been a month, a year, 3 years, 5 years, whatever it is. Sometimes that moment just hits us at any given time. So just know that that's okay and it's a part of the process.
Yeah, and I saw an analogy. Probably my mom will be gone 3 years in December, so it was within the year after that just made so much sense to me. And they were talking about because to me, like you said, for me, grief. I walk with grief. It's not gone. It's different for sure than it was originally, but it's not gone.
Mhm.
And this woman's analogy, I wish I could think of her name to give her credit for it, but she said grief is like a ball in a box, and the box has a trigger on one corner of it that's the pain button. And originally, when you're in grief, the ball is huge in the box, so it keeps hitting that pain button and pain button and pain button. And then as time goes by, the ball starts to shrink, so it doesn't hit the pain button as much. But every now and then, bam, it hits it and it puts you back into that moment of the original loss. And then it shrinks and shrinks more like it's a ping pong ball size, so you might even go a year. Like she didn't say you're totally it's going back into that moment of the really deep grief that pain button will hit every now and then. And I just thought that was a great analogy on it as you move through time on dealing with loss of a loved one, which can be a pet or a person. I think people who don't have animals in their lives don't know or feel that connection, but for those who have had pets in their lives, they can see how hard it can be to get through that. Um,
Absolutely. I love that analogy. That's
isn't it?
so perfect. It's perfect. It fits. It's
Yeah,
so
it
true.
does. Rachel, the way to enter is to do hashtag animal chat, and you can enter 3 times if you do hashtag animal chat on the Embrace Your Life community, on my personal page, which we're live on, and Positive Focus. One time on any of them will put you in. If you do 10 animal chats on one of those channels, you still just get in once. But if you do it all 3 places, you'll get your name entered 3 different places. And Sylvia says, let's see, that yes, Lucy was feisty and she was barking at the foxes in the garden.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Sylvia, before my mother-in-law died, I got the image that her dogs came to get her. Is that possible?
Absolutely, 100%, because it's just like our loved ones that come to get us too, so the animals come to greet as well. So yeah, I definitely see her dog, that her dogs did that. It's like they were kind of the pillars. One was at one leg of hers, and one was at the other leg, and they were just like right at the foot of her bed, and then they would go to the foot and the head of the bed, and their energy was right there. Yeah, absolutely.
I love it.
Hmm.
Okay, I don't see any other questions, but please let me know if I've missed something. I'm kind of scanning through again. If you have any questions, now is your time. Remember, hashtag animal chat, and we're keeping it open for a week so people who watch it on a replay can join too. And that is to win a power animal reading from Shauna, where she will tune into an animal that is helping guide you right now. So it'll be very interesting. I love the power animals. I think it's so fascinating. And when I see, like if I see a hawk or something like that, I'll look it up in that moment to see, what the message might be or things like that. Or if I've dreamt about them too. Sometimes I look, it's like, why was that animal in my dream last night? So I'll look and see, like, why did I dream about a
Right.
llama? You know,
Right. Like
and
why
stuff like that.
why did I do that? Right? Like, wait a
Exactly.
minute. Yeah. I love that.
Exactly. I see. Do we have any more questions? Anything else you want to add?
Oh, I see another comment that just came through.
What am I missing?
It's Jody.
Oh, hold on.
Let's see.
Jody.
Jody. I love
Oh,
Jody.
well, and she loves you too. She has helped
Oh,
me with Ruby the last 2 weeks when she had a bad infection set in. If her or Charlie has any messages, I am open. We love you too, Jody.
yes, we love you too. And
So, so,
Ruby,
so, how mad is Ruby and Jody right now for the cone of shame? That's what we
right?
want to know.
We love Ruby and Charlie. Ruby is just like she just shows me like this. She wants to go. She's like, okay. She's like, I've done this for how many days now? She's like having me like look at my wrist like I was wearing a watch. Like, okay, like how many days have I worn this? Like, okay, I have to be careful with my wording here. She's like, how many days have I worn this flipping cone? She's like, come on, this cone. She's like, come on. She's like, ugh. She's like, okay. She's like, I'm trying to look really pitiful to make you take it off, but it's not working. It's not working. So just keep telling me like when I'm going to have it off. Like when am I going to have this cone off? I'm happy that I can like see out more. And she says to tell Charlie to not chuckle at me when I'm like wearing the cone. Tell Charlie to not be like, oh, what is that that's on her? Tell Charlie to be like, hey, come on. Like it's okay. Like I'm just wearing this to Hill. So I'm gonna remind Charlie of that too, to be like, okay. Because he says he's like, ha ha ha, I can do this because I don't have that on and you can't do that. So ha ha ha. So he's like, who's the leader now? So he says he's enjoying that moment. And Ruby says, oh, you wait till I get the cone off, Charlie, because I'm gonna be everywhere. So she's excited for that to come off, but she says she's feeling like a lot a lot better from that. And she's like, keep just reminding me of how much longer. Yep. She's like, she's like, come on, how much longer?
At least another week. Here, the
Let's
way
see.
these comments show up to me, sometimes they get hidden. Yep, at least another week for the wound to heal. Oh, yes, she has a potty mouth like her mommy. And she does look pitiful, and they put her back on antibiotics and pain meds. He has been so rude to her, it's funny. He has been there. Uh, he's been there too, that little shit. He basically laughs right at her. It's awful. Yep, it's
Oh, Charlie. She's like,
Charlie, you're going to get yours if you're not nice, mister.
yep. He's like, yep. He's like, okay, yeah. And definitely, like, I feel like she needs definitely that other round of antibiotics and have them look at that. Because I feel like after this other course, she might need like 3 to 5 more days. Like, so it might be like part of another dose after this, just depending how it heals. So don't be surprised if they like throw other antibiotics just to be like, hey, it is all clear, but let's make sure it like stays all clear. So. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh my
And
goodness. I
Lisa
love
here.
them.
I, it's hysterical. I mean, I can see them doing that. I can see Charlie being that way.
Hmm.
Lisa, I started feeding a stray cat who had babies out by my deck until they got big enough to go to the APL. She started bringing me presents in the way of dead mice. People that, oh, come on, stop that. It blocks me.
I know, right?
People, they are gifts of appreciation. What? I'm going to say this before Shauna, and then Shauna could say it. They are. Those are her. That's her love language. We just did a love language class a few days ago or last week. That is your kit. That cat's love language. So for her, she is bringing you food. She is bringing you something to show her appreciation. For you and I, getting a mouse left at our doorstep is not appreciation because that's our low love language. That is below the top five. That might be the 99th love language, but for her, it's a high love language. Shauna?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself. That's exactly what it is. Because she's like, hey, and this is like going to sound really like, oh my gosh, what? She said, you fed me, so I want to feed you. And it's not like you're going to like grow and fry up a mouse in a pan, right? You're not going to do that. But she's just showing you like, hey, you fed me. I want to feed you too. And I'm so like appreciative. And she says she wants to like come in your world more and more and more. And she's just, really grateful that of how you helped her. And it just means so much to her. And I love that oh, you helped her.
And Jody wants everyone to know, which I fully support and believe, on how talented you are, Shauna. I love having you on here. And you also do a Sunday evening on your page, an animal communication too. And these are just short little communications, like when
Hmm.
you schedule a reading with her, it's like a half an hour to an hour long where you really get in depth about what's going on with these, with our
Exactly. Yeah.
animal babies.
Yes, it's more in depth. And all, thank you, Jody and Carol. Yeah, definitely more in depth. The ones that I do, because it's just the ones here, just, quick, like little dive in readings. And then Sunday night at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, every Sunday on my page, I do kind of similar thing where I just do readings because I want people to be able to experience this, right? Because not a lot of people know what animal communication is,
Yeah.
right? So for people to be able to test it out and kind of, I guess you'd say, give me a little test drive to be like, hey, this is what it's all about, kind of get their feet a little wet and see what it's about.
Yeah, and I didn't know you when Mika was still on this earth because I promise you I would have been getting lots of readings on how she was doing her last several months here. But it was her time. It was hard, but it was her time. I have a Facebook user, which means they're in the Embrace Your Life community. But because you didn't click on that accept StreamYard, yada, 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 I don't know who you are. So if you let us know, that will be great. We will come back into comments on Embrace Your Life and I'll look at it where I can see your name. Several of my fur babies passed and I couldn't be there. I just wanted to know if they forgive me and if they could understand. I'm going to go again before you and then you give the
Yeah, yeah,
truth.
yeah.
Um, a lot of animals like to go away to pass anyway. Like that's their comfort zone is to find a place to be quiet. And I've had I've had two dogs as an adult. As a kid, we had so many dogs, so many cats, and many of them would like we would know because they were wanting to stay in the closet or whatever and hide more. And that's when it was a sign that something was going on. So I personally, I'm not an animal communicator, but I'm quite sure that your pets do not feel bad that you weren't there. They were probably wanting you to not be there. And I know from a person perspective, a lot of mediums will say, John Holland's one of my favorites, and he always asks his audience, like, how many of you weren't here when your family passed away? And probably half the audience will raise their hands. He's like, because they did not want that last image of them to be your last image of them. They did not want you there. They knew you were there emotionally, but they did not want you there physically. So I'm assuming it's similar in pet land, but Shauna, go for it.
Absolutely, it is. It's very similar in Petland, because they sometimes, they let us know that their time is coming. I always like to call it I like a light switch. It's like the light is getting dimmer and dimmer in their eyes, and you can kind of see that. And they may go and hide, and you can notice things really different with them. And they are okay if we're not there with them. And the reason why is because they know we have that connection with them and just such that like heart to heart connection that even though we're not with them, they feel our presence still there because we have that internal connection. And it's not just up here in our head, but it's that heart to heart connection that's always there. So even if we're not there, we're really there because we're connected, whether we're there in person or not.
I think that is so important for people to know because I know, like, I was with the vet when it was Mika's last breath, but I know many people who can't handle that. So they say
Hmm.
goodbye and leave the room and then feel guilty. And I'm like,
Hmm.
you don't need to feel guilty about it. So um, to know that you still have that connection. But I do know a
Yeah.
lot of people who like, I just couldn't, I could not watch it. So I left and like, should I have stayed? And I'm like,
Yeah.
you didn't have to stay.
Yeah.
You do what works for you kind of thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, because you don't have to stay because not everybody can do that. And it does not, I don't care what anybody says, it does not make you a bad pet parent if you do not stay. It
Okay.
does not. Like if you stay, if you don't stay, it's neither one of them is right or wrong because you have to do what's right for you. And if you can't be there in that moment with them, if it's going to be too hard for you, then they're not going to be able to have that peaceful transition. So
Right.
you're actually giving them that gift of that peaceful transition if you're not able
Yeah.
to be there in that moment.
Yeah, that's what I
Mhm.
was just thinking too. Like you're bringing that anxious, upset energy in. Not even upset. Like I was upset with Mika, but it was like it was still a peaceful experience.
Mhm.
So, and I thought about it too. Like, did I want to stay? The vet asked me if I wanted to stay, and I decided I did. But I just know so many people who felt bad that they did not have the
Yeah.
ability to stay because it would be too hard. I'm like, do not feel bad about that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there's a lot of reasons that sometimes they want us to be there and sometimes reasons they don't want us to be there.
Right.
So and I work a lot with people with it during sessions where I help them with that because there's so much around that. And I give people different tools of things they can do. Like, they can write it out, write out their feelings, like write their pet a letter with how they're feeling, and they can crumble it up and throw it away, or they can keep it because we just need to process those
Yeah.
emotions sometimes, or we can talk it out, act like we're having a conversation with them and talk it out because that connection, it's always there. It's just a different kind of tangible. It's not one we see with our eyes, we feel
Right.
it with our hearts.
Well, and it's so interesting because when Miko was alive, like
Hmm.
the vet did not want me to stay in the room because she'd be a little prima donna. Mom, what are they doing to me? So if I left, she would behave more for them and they could do the shots and all that stuff. But she absolutely let me know that she wasn't appreciating whatever they were doing. She was not a fan of going to the vet. She
Hmm.
needed to because that's part of taking care of her, but she did not
Hmm.
like it in the slightest. Alyssa, how does Ducky feel about that I adopted her?
Ducky says, like, you just swooped me up and just was like, yep, it was instant. You just knew right when you saw me. It was like, yep, I'm yours, you're mine. And I just like swooped up into your arms and swooped up into your life. It was like, yep, we're meant to be together. It was just like, yep, just like this, connected. Yep. I love that. And they pick us a lot of the times, the animals in our lives. Sometimes we pick them, but then sometimes they pick us. It's so cool how it happens.
I will quickly share because Mika picked me. And I know people
Mhm.
are like, stop talking about Mika. But I got her, so I had her for 15 and a half years. I had wanted to get a puppy, and I'd found, I was looking at these different dogs and stuff, and I found a breeder in my hometown that I talked to, and she's like, "We're not going to have puppies for a while. I could recommend something." But I thought, man, it'd be nice to get one for my hometown. My sister went online, was looking. She found a 7-month-old puppy that was being rehomed because the people were allergic to her. And the breeder had told me that they had just had puppies back in January, and one of them went to somebody in Nebraska. One like they went all over the country, and the Nebraska puppy was from my breeder. So I called my breeder. I just met her. I called her and I said, "I think one of your puppies is back. Somebody's trying to get rid of it." And as the connection happens, that woman is calling her, the breeder, crying that she can't keep her. What should I do? And this woman who I'd been talking to for weeks because I like had every single question possible. She's like, I know the perfect mom for her. So we met halfway from Nebraska to Chicago, and Mika, because she had been so allergic to her from when she got her at a 10-week-old puppy to 7 months old, she hardly held her because she was so allergic. So Mika was super stiff and like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? As soon as we got home and I put her on the floor of my place, she started playing and like, yep, I'm home now. So
Oh, it
it
was
was
like
really nice.
she was meant to be with you. And it's so interesting because right as you like were starting to tell that story, I had to take a drink of water because my throat felt like really itchy, like it was gonna seize up and close up. So like I could, it was like it was almost like I was tuning into
That
Mika
woman,
being around that lady. Like it was
yeah.
like really bad allergies.
So
Yeah.
they do help pick us as well as us picking
Yeah.
them.
What a beautiful story. And it was just like when she came to you, she was like, okay, yep, I went there. So then I could come over here and be in my perfect place. And
Yeah.
sometimes that happens. Like, so sometimes, if somebody has to rehome a pet, sometimes we're just that transition point to like the next point for them, so sometimes it's about that, just like how that happened with you, so it's
Well,
really
and it was interesting because I was like, I want a puppy. She was only 4 pounds fully grown, so a 8-week-old puppy of hers, like I don't even have a clue on what I would have done with something that small. And she had so much energy at 7 months. I'm like, yeah, I did not need a puppy. I
you're
I
like,
need an older puppy, a
right.
1, 2-year-old puppy kind
Yes,
of
oh
thing.
yeah, because
Yeah,
puppies are a lot of work. They're cute, puppy breath, all that. They're cute, but boy, a lot
a lot
of
of work.
work. Yes, a lot of
Even
work.
at 7 months, she was a lot of work, and I wouldn't
Mhm.
trade a moment of her craziness. So,
I love it.
um,
Oh,
I think, let me see here. I think Sylvia has one more thing, and then we're going to let everyone go. My friend had a 22-year-old cat who hid in the garden at the end, and they never found it. That seems to be very common. Yeah,
oh,
yeah, I think it
mhm.
is a pretty common thing, especially if animals have access to go outside. Um, I think it's just part of the nature of them is to find some place to, and animals are so much more connected that death to them isn't sad like it is to us. I mean, like they grieve when one of their pet family, passes on, but they're so connected to it that they can still feel the connection of their pets that have gone, their siblings that have gone before them and stuff like that, where we tend to hold on to the earthly plane a little bit
Yeah, we
more.
do. We hold on to that so much. And this may sound crazy to some people, but I feel like maybe some people can relate. My Luna, she was like my heart dog. She was just the absolute love of my life. And anyway, since we are always close, like always so connected. But now, since she's passed and she doesn't have like those earthly ties, I feel like sometimes we're even more connected than we were when she was here. And it's almost because we don't have the earth plane that, kind of,
Yeah,
I don't know. I know that I can't explain it. It's just that she sends me signs of connection all the time. And it's
that's very cool. How long
like
has she
she's a
been
part of
gone?
me. Oh gosh, let's see. It was 2017. So in March of 2017. So what will that be like? 4? Oh my
4.
goodness. Yeah. I'm like,
Four and
wait,
a half years now, yeah.
yeah, almost 5 years. I can't believe it. But it doesn't feel like she's gone because I know that she's a part of me,
Yeah,
right? She's almost like just she's such a part of me. So it's
yeah.
yeah.
And you can
Mhm.
still miss the physical presence
Yeah.
even while knowing that you had that connection. I mean, it can be hard.
Exactly. And one thing about that physical presence that I want to touch on, because I feel like maybe there's somebody that needs to hear this. So even though we don't have that physical presence with them, so say like I can be thinking about my Luna and I could touch another dog, and sometimes for that moment, that energy can come through that other dog. It's the way spirit
Mm,
works. It's kind of like the movie Ghost, right? Where you see Whoopi Goldberg go into
yeah.
I forget who she goes into, but she like carried that presence of Patrick Swayze and him and Demi Moore at that moment. So it's like that connection and those moments can happen with not just the people that pass in our lives, but the animals too. Things like that can happen. Because I remember I was so close to my grandfather, and when he passed away, it broke my heart. I was in the third grade, and I remember his brother looked a lot like him, and we went to the hospital to visit his brother after my grandpa passed, and I held my uncle's hand, and I could feel for a moment
Mm.
my grandfather come through. So I just want to share that with people because I feel like maybe there's somebody listening now or listening to the replay that needs to hear that and know that, like, yes, that can happen.
Yeah, and it's still happening for people who don't feel it, like, especially when you're in the initial stages of grief. The grief is so heavy that you may not feel their presence or hear or, get the signs, but they're around you. So it's
Yeah.
important to know that as well, because I think people, especially immediate grief of a pet or a person, like that's when you want the signs the most, but you're clouded because of the sadness and the sorrow that you're still naturally going through. I'm not telling anybody to speed up their grief so they can get to the signs, but it's part of the process is to move through that.
Yeah,
So
it is,
again,
and absolutely true, because sometimes we might miss those signs being in that, and that's okay, because more signs will always come, and it's
yeah,
okay, because we grief
absolutely.
is a process. Yeah.
It is a process for sure, and it
Mhm.
just shows you how much you loved. So
Mhm.
it's part of being human,
Yeah.
is to go through all of that too. So again, if you want to be in the drawing to potentially win a animal power reading from Shauna, it is hashtag animal chat, and you can get your name in 3 times if you do it. I don't know whether if you're on Positive Focus right now, put animal chat in there. My personal profile, you can put animal chat in there. And then on your Embrace Your Life community, you can put animal chat in there to get your name in 3 places. I will pick it a week from Tuesday, so it won't be a full week. On Tuesday, when I get together, where we're talking about how to get through hard times.
I
I,
believe that's what
I,
it is. I'm trying to remember because there's so many good topics. I'm like, which one was this?
I know I can't keep track myself, but I'm pretty sure it's about how to move through hard times with the first and third Tuesdays of each month. I have panels of different people, and we discuss the topic at hand. And so it's about getting through hard times next Tuesday, and we'll also announce the winner of the Power Animal Chat hashtag Animal Chat. 3 locations to possibly win. And thank you, Shauna. I always love our conversations on different ways on communicating with animals and then giving these readings to people. But remember, these are short readings. If you want to get a more in depth reading, you can go to her website. Well, Shauna, will you put that in the
Yeah.
comments? Go back in and put it in the comments for people so they can sign up for an in depth reading, excuse me, which is either a half an hour or an hour.
Well, I do hours and 90 minutes, and I
Okay.
actually need to add on a half hour. I'm like, you know what? I've been in resistance for that, but I was like, you know, I need to do a half hour, and I'm gonna make some other changes with my website too. So I might be like changing up the name. So just to keep an eye on that, but it will be like redirected. And I'm just so grateful to be here. This has been so much fun because I love how our conversation just organically goes, and you
Yeah.
never know where it's going to go. And it's just fun to connect with you and all your fabulous viewers here. I love it. So,
I love it too. So you're joining us on Tuesday for the conversation. Then, of course, you'll be back on the second Thursday of November. Can you believe we're in
I
almost
November. Oh,
midway through October already? So, thank you everyone for joining us. I will be here on Monday. Then Tuesday we have the group. Thursday I'll be back. I do Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays at 11:30 Chicago time every week on hopefully offering you ways to heighten your celebrations and lessen your sorrows through a positive focus. Shauna, thank you so much for being part of this community. I adore you and I adore the work that you do in the world. And everyone, hug your baby, your pet animals a little, well, maybe not too tight because some of them might not like a tight hug, but love them up a lot more today for those people who don't have their animal babies with them and they're on the other side, and just love up yourself at the same time, because losing a pet or a person is a hard thing to go through, and no, you don't have to go through it alone. So have a wonderful rest of your day. We will chat very soon. Remember, you matter to me, you matter to the world, and most important, you matter to you. So take care. We'll talk soon. So long for now. Bye, Shauna.
bye. Thank you.